friends, welcome back to the studio. Yes, I'm not quite finished yet, but I am in, and I have actually reoriented my table, so this will be a better space for me to do all the teaching sewing videos and other crafts from, right? Now, if you've never been here before, my name is Valreen. Thanks so much for being here. Let's learn how to make a very easy hidden tab curtain. Now, this is excellent for beginners, right? Because all you need to do is to go out and buy yourself some regular tab curtains. Like this one, it's just a regular tab curtain. And dollar for dollar, regular tab curtains are much less expensive than hidden tab curtains. Why spend the extra money to buy hidden tabs when you can transform regular tab curtains into hidden tab curtains? Let me show you exactly how to do that. The first thing you want to do is fold over the section of your curtain which has the tabs. Now this one has the tabs with just a little hem at the top here. So I'm just going to fold right by where the hem is, right across the top of the curtain. The first thing I'm going to do, well, not the first thing, the second thing, because I've already flipped the tab section of the curtain. So the second thing I'm going to do is pin in place. So I'm going to go ahead and pin across the tops of each of these tabs. Before you start stitching, in order to make sure that both sides of your curtain panel will be equal when you're done doing your stitching, you could either use your measuring tape to measure both sides, or you could bring your curtain panel together like this from side to side and just work your way along the curtain panel to make sure that at the bottom they're equal. And if there is a discrepancy, then you can go back to the top and make the adjustment, right? Now, after pinning, I will stitch along the top section here. Now, when you stitch the top here, you can stitch just about a quarter or a half an inch from the edge. Okay, so we'll stretch this back out on the table. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and pin at the bottom of the tabs, just like so. Seen it done where people just stitch across the tabs here, but when you do that, what happens is when you look on the front of your curtain, you will see like a stitch here, and I don't like that look. I like the look of having the stitch run straight across the top, across all the tabs, right? So in order to make sure that I end up with a straight line on the front of the curtain and not a wonky one, what I'm going to do is draw a line. So you can use like tailor's chalk to draw your line. So what I'm going to do now is use my measuring gauge. This is a pretty handy thing for beginners to have, a measuring gauge. So I'll use the measuring gauge and I'll just put this little wing here to the back of the curtain. I will then push it down because what I'm doing here is measuring off where I want to put my stitch. And I don't want to put my stitch too low to the end of the tab, but neither do I want to put it too high from the edge of the tab, right? So I am going to go down 3¼ inches, which is just about 1/4 inch from the bottom of the tab. Now I'll just put a little mark here. I am then going to do the same thing on this side. So 3¼ inches from the top and 1/4 inch from the bottom of the tab. Now you decide, it's a personal thing. You can always make the adjustments that you're more comfortable with and go ahead and do it just the way you want it to be, right? I'm gonna take my ruler here and I am gonna line up the ruler with the pin on this side and the pin on this side. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna draw my line straight across. Now this line will be my stitching line. So by the time I'm done stitching, I will have a straight line at the front. So when you look at the front of the curtain, this is what you will see. So it looks more finished, right? Let's pull these pins. Oh, there was only one left, so I have pulled it. Now I am gonna hang this so you can see what it looks like. When you transform your regular tab curtains into hidden tab curtains, what may happen is that your curtain may be a bit short depending on the height at which you're putting your curtain rod over your window, right? And so if you run into that situation, what I would suggest that you do is get a coordinating fabric and you basically cut a band to augment the length of your curtain, right? However, there is something that you should know. If your curtain, for example, is 40 inches wide and it has a double hem on each side of, say, 2 inches, it means that you're going to have an additional 4 inches of fabric over here and an additional 4 inches of fabric over here. So the band that you cut will have to be not 40 inches but 48 inches because you're adding the 2 side hems, right? Now what you would do in that situation is use a trusty little tool like this one, and it's called a seam ripper, and undo the hem of your curtain right across the bottom, and then undo just a portion of the side hem. That is how you will know how wide you need to cut your band. Now I have an example here, but for you, you will do what I said. Undo the hem, undo a portion of the side hem, undo the bottom hem, undo a portion of the side hem, and then measure right across your curtain to establish how wide your band need to be. As for the length, the number of inches that you turned at the top here, you will need to add to the bottom. So for example, I turned 4 inches at the top here. Now if my curtains were going to be too short, then I would have to add 4 inches down here, right? So you will just get your 4-inch piece of fabric, then you will put the right sides together. I should do this and let you guys see. Okay, let's do that. Let's just pull the, just for the sake of showing you guys, I am gonna cut this thing in two. It's demo stuff. I use stuff like these around the studio to explain things, so it's not a big deal. But I'm gonna go ahead and take out the, now don't go undoing your hem like I'm doing this one, because this is an old piece of fabric, doesn't mean anything to me, and I don't want you guys to rip your curtains, right? So take your time to use your seam ripper to remove those stitches. I did this one pretty tight. Okay, there we go. Should come out. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so now I have opened the whole thing. So we've already established how wide we need the band to be and how many inches we need to add to the bottom to augment the length of the curtain. We have cut our band. This is what we then do. We line up the edge of the band to the edge of the curtain, and then we go ahead and stitch. So I'll go ahead and stitch here. Now we have added the band to the curtain. A good idea is to always make sure that you are pressing, and if you have a finishing stitch or a serger, you can go ahead and finish off the edge here. But what you want to do next is to go ahead and turn your hem back. Just gonna stick a pin in here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and stitch the side hem. So what we want to do when we are restitching the side hem is overlap just a little bit on the existing stitches. Now after we have stitched the side hem, then it's time for us to stitch across the curtain for the bottom hem. Now this is just to show you the steps how to do it. You will have to use your own measurements to decide how far back you go with your hem, also how long your strip of fabric will be, or how wide it will be, right? Repeat, it's just to show you the steps to get the job done, right? Now, if you cut your panel the same number of inches that you turned at the top, it means then that you are going to go ahead and turn the whole thing, so you'll have a double hem and you won't see this piece of fabric from the front. However, there's absolutely nothing wrong with cutting this longer, so that when you turn your hem twice and you look at the front of the curtain, you are seeing a piece of the coordinating fabric. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Actually, it will add a bit of panache to your drapery or to your curtain, right? So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you guys. I will be doing another video down the line which will actually be focused on different ways you can lengthen your curtains. So this one I will repeat in that, plus I will add other ways that you can lengthen your curtain. Now let's go ahead and hang that hidden top curtain that we just made. I'm just using the rod I have here. You would be using for sure a thicker rod, right? Your hidden tab curtain. Let me know what you think. I hope this lesson was beneficial to you. Please leave your comments below. Also, like, share, and if you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscription button. Thank you so much. And remember to turn on your bell notification icon so you can be notified of new videos. I will see you in the next video lesson.